Welcome to the Felt Dyslexic Artist Interview. My name is Liz Buckridge. For me, as a dyslexic artist, other artists and creatives have always been my number one inspiration. In these interviews, we talk with artists and creatives who share their stories, and we gain insight into their process from inspiration to art tips, career building, and more. We're so lucky to listen to the wisdom of Meredith Brower today. I'm so excited to hear about her past and future projects and hear about her insights on life as an artist. Hi.
Hi.
Did I say your name right?
Yes. Yep. Meredith Brower. Yep. You're good.
Thank you for talking with us today.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to jump right in. Describe the art you make. What mediums do you primarily work in, and why do you choose those mediums?
So I have a couple of different businesses, but the one I think I talked about the most was called Firefly Mandalas. So it's actually an eco art, a nature art. I live here on the farm, which is what you see behind us. And I go out and I collect and forage for different materials, leaves, shells, twigs, anything that piques my interest, and then I organize them into a layout design. And I kind of took the name mandala, which means geometric. If you look it up on Google or a dictionary, a geometric representation of the universe. So I sort of use that name just to explain what I do. And then the word firefly is more about letting your inner fire fly than the actual bug. Um, so I've been doing for about, I think, 9 years now. So maybe longer. I really am a freelance photographer, so photographing, it's really windy outside. Photographing the mandalas comes really easily, and the light is really helpful when I create the mandalas.
Yeah, they're very cool. Do you work in any other mediums?
Not really. I'm artistic, but I started off as photography, so all of like the alternative processes really intrigued me. Um, but no, I haven't really gotten into any other. I don't speak any other languages like most of my friends do. So yeah,
How did you?
someday,
Oh, someday you want to.
someday. We just had part of the South Coast Artist Tour, and we had a little meet and greet the other day with Bill Shattuck, and he's an illustrator, amazing stuff. And I'm like, I need to do that. So I'm like, all right, let's see if we can fit some drawing classes or I don't know, insightful books or something and just start. So
Wow.
yeah, who knows?
How did you get into making art? Can you tell us about your background and how you first became interested in that?
Yeah, so I went to high school at Lincoln School up in Providence. It was all girls, and we had specific art classes, and then we also had photography classes. So they really embraced the whole artistic aspect. So I started photography classes, and I still am friends with my professor, Mr. Complain, Ron Complain. Um, just really got interested in it with him and his classes. And then I graduated and went to RIT in Rochester, New York. And I went for commercial photography. It was called photo illustration then. And then I went for printing management too. So um, that was great because it was like hands-on. We got right into the classes. We got right into the studios, right into photographing. So it was 4 years of just awesome education. Yeah. Yeah.
How did you get into your specific style? What themes or subjects inspire your work?
I would say, you know, living here on the farm, it's the nature that inspires me. When I go out and I photograph, it really started years ago with my dog Blackjack, and he passed a few years ago. He was 19, and he was 19, 20 pounds, but he was like so energetic. I would open the door and he would be off the deck before I could even. So he needed to be walked. He needed a lot of exercise. So while I was waiting for him to do his investigating and chasing things, I was sort of looking at things differently. And I was out there every day, spring, summer, winter, fall, and seeing things change. So a friend of mine, Rebecca Polan, shout out to Rebecca, said, "Why don't you look at Andy Goldsworthy's work? Maybe that will inspire you." So I tried a few mandalas and it was interesting, and I got to be outside and collect nature and organize. I wouldn't say I'm OCD, but I like organizing things. Um, and then we had chatted, sort of a follow-up discussion, and we agreed maybe I could do one every day for a year. So some were great and some were not. But it was just the fact of setting an hour or so aside every day to be creative. That's the hardest part is time, is just getting the time to do it. So I had an endless supply and endless inventory of stuff to deal with, to work with, and it was always changing. So yeah. So just walking out the door and I'm like, look at that. Oh my God, So and I'd come home with pockets full of shells and twigs and prickers and burrs and all this leaves and stuff. So yeah, it's all over the house. So
Do you consider yourself neurodivergent or neurotypical?
I don't think so. Oh, now it's gonna get really bright. Um, I don't think so. I'm a little dyslexic. Like I'm not a big reader. When I open the book, the words just sort of jump out at me. And maybe that's good. So when I forage, that stuff jumps out at me. So I'm an awesome forager. Like people have lost earrings or coins or something, and I'm like all over it. Like I must have been in my past life like a master foraging gathering woman because I can find shit. Sorry. I can find stuff everywhere.
It's YouTube, you can
So
swear.
yeah, I don't think so, but I think we're all got a little different levels of how we learn. High school was really tough for me, like the reading and the writing and the very I loved gym and I loved art and I loved photography and I got through the other classes just to get to those. So yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you faced any challenges or setback in your art career, and how did you overcome them?
I would say, twofold. Like one is the photography and one is the mandalas. So in college and high school, I went to RIT because I wanted to be a National Geographic photographer and I wanted to be traveling the world and taking landscapes and animals. And then when you get into the real world, that's not how it works. So um, I sort of shifted over to being more of a working photographer for the newspapers, assignments. So you had a client that you had to please, and as much as you could be creative and they hired you for the creativity, they wanted specific things. So it kind of took the fun out of just going out, going down to the beach, going up into the woods to photograph. I need to get back into just going out and photograph for the sake of photographing and not having somebody to please at the end because the only person is pleasing is me. The mandala work, I'll go to shows and I'm like, I don't care if you like it because I love it. So I have nobody to please, and I it's more of the process. There's no end product. It's the process of that creation. And if I come up with something great, then wonderful. But if not, I had another great experience. So yeah, there's different kinds of art and the different audience that you're feeding, whether it's being paid to make it or they buy something that's made. It's everybody's got their different journey. So there's no one right answer. So
Where did you grow up?
I grew up right here. So born in Fall River, born and raised right here in Tiverton, right here on the farm. And I moved back about 16 years ago to take care of my mom. And yeah, I've been here ever since. Hope I can be here a lot longer. Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Did you do art when you were a little kid?
Yeah. I took classes across the pond. There were some artists who had studios. We took some drawing classes. And then we had enough art in school that, um, but yeah, my dad was very artistic. So he was always painting, detailing like the car. He painted signs. He was an avid boater. So he was always painting things on the boat. So he would always include us in all the projects. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Do you have a favorite colorway or palette for your art? And is the colorway for your art different or the same as the colors in the house?
I do not have a certain palette. I just whatever comes at me. Um, I'm not a I can't say I'm a big black person, although I just got all that black sand from the beach in the Azores. So I'd say black's back on the table. So no. The house though, it's my mom and dad's house. Everything's yellow. The floors in the first floor are like a nice wide pine, but the floors upstairs have been painted like a dark maroon. So the color in the house have been set all my life and haven't really changed. Um, but mine is wide open. Yeah, wide open.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Describe the space where you make your art.
That's tough because I can make my art anywhere. Um, that's a tough question. I have a studio here. It's an old barn, and it's got three different doors, like I showed you earlier. So there's three different sides of light, north, east, and west. So depending on the time of the day, the time of the season, I can pick the best light. It's the best light with no wind, because if it's windy, I can't make mandalas. It just, you'll do all the energy and effort, and then all of a sudden the world's like, no, you're not going to do this anymore, or the cat walks through it or something. I have another room up in the house that is west facing and north facing, so I can kind of move it around. It's really mobile. It kind of goes with me wherever I am, so I don't have a dedicated space. So kind of a freeloader in that sense. Yeah.
That's cool. How did your school system support your interest in art growing up?
The high school in Lincoln, we had, dedicated classes. They had wonderful teachers. We were learning fifth grade. We were learning pottery and ceramics, which I still have a couple pieces in the house, and I'm like, I will never get rid of them. Maybe I should try that too. Um, and then I went to RIT, and we had core courses. We had electives, so it was RIT was phenomenal. I loved it. Yeah, so it was just art everywhere, every aspect. So the photography and the printing uh, classes or schools were in one building. Next building was the graphic design, and then up on the top floor was the School for American Craftsmen. So we were just surrounded by it. It was fabulous. Yeah.
Do you see your work evolving or changing in the future? What do you have planned?
Because I take on so many things, I just don't know if I'll have enough time. But I kind of see the photography maybe falling off, maybe not doing as much. I don't know. The mandala work will just continue. Hopefully this summer I can do some workshops and spread the love with some people. And if I can find some time, is maybe do some ceramics, some illustration. I don't know. But I got to wait to see what finds me first. So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through your creative process from idea to finished piece?
That's another tough one, because it's all up in here and in here. Um, so the biggest people want me to come and show people how to do the mandalas, and they want it like in this constrained schoolroom and with two seats and everything. And I'm like, I can't. That's not how it works. So I need to grab a bunch of people, be outside, hand them a basket and a pair of scissors, and just give them a few tips. This is what to look for. This is what to like calm your breathing. And I say, if you can stop your brain from judging your heart and just make decisions as you see them, and stuff's going to come at you if you can like open up your vision. I don't know, it's kind of woo woo, but it's part of the process. It's not just, the synapses flowing down to your hand to draw something. It's the whole experience of how you feel. Like Bill Shattuck talked the other night about, when you look at his paintings or his art and his illustrations, you need to feel the sense of place and that air that is around you. So you need to, we're taking in so much information visually, physically, emotionally when we're outside, and we just need to kind of listen to it and channel that. So if you want to get right down to it, like I find things that inspire me, colors, prickers, collect a bunch of them, and then I sort of organize them all, tall and thin, short and fat, green, purple, and then I pair it with a certain background, something that's going to enhance it or something that's going to detract from it, whether it's wood or, and then I start with a shape, maybe a number. I always sort of work in even numbers. I don't know why. 4, 6, 8. If it's a star, I don't really do a lot of stars. And then I slowly start bringing things in, build the structure. It's sort of like decorating a room. You pick your color scheme with what you've picked. You start with a structure, and then you start adding in all the details. So, and if the wind doesn't blow it away, then a big part for me is photographing it in the right light. And then I take photos of it, little video, and then the sense of place that it's in. Then I have to name it. So I don't always necessarily have a name, but I try to evoke whether the color or the location or the feeling that was going on, or if there was an event happening in my life. Like if I've traveled somewhere, I just traveled to the Azores and I made a whole series of mandalas over there. So the names are these great Portuguese names. So yeah, and then once it's done, I don't save it. I just put it back where it came from, throw it in the field, say my gratitude, and move on. So
Would you consider making the art emotional process or strategic?
a little bit of both. The emotion is what inspires you, but then the strategic comes in to create the layout. Yeah.
How do you combine the art you love to make and the art you sell?
Hmm. I think I offer, like with the mandala work, I offer everything to everybody, and then people who come in and look at it, whatever speaks to them. So I'm a good salesperson, but I'm like not pushy. I'm like, if you don't want it, I don't take it. No, not my problem. So it's not about the money. Like I don't have to make sales, luckily. Um, but if somebody really loves it, it speaks to them, then I'm all over it. So, or they're looking for a specific piece. If I and maybe I don't have it. So, yeah, that's a tough question.
How do people find your art to purchase?
I have a website. I can't say it's updated, but it does have some locations of the stores, that do wholesale accounts with me. So then they sell them retail. So Highfield Hall out in Falmouth, Mass, all the way up to Mountain Laurel up in northeastern Connecticut. Um, Jordan's Jungle in Providence, Wildflower, Sales Livingston Home right here, brand new store. It's awesome. She carries them. So
What's your website name?
fireflymandalas.com. And then I do the South Coast Artist Tour, July and August. So it's 2 days, a Saturday and Sunday, and 2 weekends. And I open up my studio here, the old barn. People are like, "Oh my God, an old barn," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's a barn. There's spider webs and cobwebs, and yeah, it's a barn. Welcome to my barn. Yeah." So that's a great opportunity to come and see. I have magnets, the mandala cards, the 5x5 blank cards, mini notes. I have some aluminum panels, FG clays, and some framed pieces too. So yeah,
Cool. We'll put that information in the
that. Yeah,
show
that's
notes.
the best time you can see everything. Yeah.
Awesome. Can you share a recent project or piece of work that you're particularly happy about?
Again, I just went away on a vacation, so like you're feeling great on the vacation, and I did one. We were doing a hike, and I don't know if these ferns had like frozen, but they turned black. So I was getting everybody on the tour to collect things for me. So I'm just shoving stuff in where this hike was like 41 stories straight down, and then you hike 41 stories straight back up. Ladders, bridges, everything. It was Fire Lake, Lago de Fogo or something like that. Anyways, it was a tough hike, but I grabbed all this amazing stuff. So it was an incredible experience. And I was able to collect some things. And when I got back to the hotel room, they had these luxurious green velvet seats. So I put all the ferns, and I think it's on the Instagram page. And I'm really happy about that one. So, I'm like, is anybody going to buy that? I'm like, I don't care. I love it. So it's so luscious. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one. It's tough, and it's tough. Sometimes I don't make them thinking I'm going to have a great end product. And then sometimes I'll make one, and the outtakes that I've thrown away create something even better. Then it's just like process of the process. But yeah. So I think it's awesome. I really love it, but some people might not even like, they're like, that's nice. You put nature and leaves in a pattern. That's nice. So they just don't get it.
I think a lot of people get it.
And then other people are like, that's amazing. So those are the people that I connect with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people.
And it's something that when I do the workshops, I tell people this is a tool that you can have. Like, I'm giving you this tool. So you've gone on vacation, you've eaten the food, you've met the people, you've gone out dancing, you've been to the beaches. Now you can dig a little bit deeper and look around you, like the ground, literally the ground beneath your feet. and really appreciate the place and the sense of place. And you make a mandala, you leave everything there, and you take that with you. So every time you look at that, you're like, I created that, I was there, I experienced it. So it's a little snippet of your history, your time, if you want to get all goofy and gooey about it.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
How do you stay motivated as an artist?
That is really difficult, especially living in New England when it's been raining for 3 weeks. I through running the Tiverton Farmers Market, being a photographer, doing the mandala work, having a great family, the one thing that has been consistent is my sense of community and my friends. And if I didn't have that to pull me through or give me an idea or say, hey, there's this awesome class. Like we had the South Coast Artist 2 speaker, and I'm like, all right, I've got a little inspiration. Like I can start again. So anything can inspire you, but winter's tough because the light is low and the light is dim. You need to get out of your head, get out of your house, get out of your state, get out of the country, travel. Traveling is amazing. It yeah. I mean, being on the farm here is very inspiring, but sometimes I just need to switch things up and yeah. And I don't know that I'm not inspired. You're like, I haven't made anything in a while. You're like, I'm just tired, or maybe I'm depressed, or it's winter. But then when it hits you, you're like, I haven't done anything in a long time. So yeah.
Are there any artists or creatives who have influenced or inspired your work?
That's another tough question. No. Like Andy Goldsworthy, there's his work outside with boulders and rock walls and his sense of place and the light and the viewing. I think following other eco artists on Instagram, I chat with a woman who's in Portugal and she makes them all out of mushrooms. And there's another woman in Australia who she's actually in the outback and like everything's burnt and dried up and it just a couple of quick conversations and you're like, I really love that. What happened there? But no, I'm not like the book. I don't go and I should go to more museums and be inspired, but yeah, I kind of just peeped myself.
What advice would you give to aspiring artists looking to pursue a career in the arts?
I would say if you can go to art school, if like your family situation and you can go to art school, go. Working with other photographers, doing internship. If you can get a paid internship, even better. That's tough. If you can, when you are in school and you can take a couple of business classes, definitely get a couple of years of business classes to learn the financial aspect, the marketing aspect, because just because you can make great art doesn't mean you're a marketing guru or a business or a financial expert. So you have to have all aspects or know people who can do it for you. So community, you've got to have a community. So you can't do it on your own. Yeah.
That's why we're here. What is your favorite book, movie, song, podcast?
Can I pass on that one?
You can.
Yeah.
Is there a book that you recommend over and over to give people?
No, like I said, I'm not an avid reader, so I'm terrible.
No, you're not. That's
I
fine.
can read like a manual or no problem with that. But books, I can't sit still long enough. My eyes are all over the place, and I just don't enjoy it.
Movie
So
too?
movies, I love movies. Yeah, if you can visually,
Do you have a favorite movie?
I have a lot of them, but they're kind of silly.
It's okay.
Right? I mean, I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Science fiction. All the documentaries. Love documentaries. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite documentary?
Mm-hmm.
I don't either.
It's sort of they like feed you what theoretically could happen, what theoretically could be, or what really actually happened. So
what kind of music do you listen to?
all types of music, yeah. Mostly like reggae and world music, a little bit of jazz. I've been to the jazz festival many, many times. All music. Yeah, everything. The oldies, 80s. I'm not really into the trap or the rap stuff, but yeah.
What do you want to talk about that I didn't ask?
Hmm. I don't know. Hmm. I'm gonna talk about the figs, but
Yeah, let's talk
right.
about the figs. Um, I think that everyone's going to want to know where we are.
Yeah. So here on the property, 2 years ago, I got this high tunnel or a greenhouse, and I decided to plant fig trees. A friend of mine, I was trying to decide, can I do corn? Can I do tomatoes? Can I do whatever? But it was a lot of work, and it was, labor intensive. And I'm a middle-aged white woman, and I'm like, I'll die. So a friend of mine mentioned the fig trees, and I was like, fig trees? What? So I did a bunch of research and blogs and books, and I have to say, maybe those are the books that I've been reading, the fig books. Yeah, yeah. So, and I decided, I was like, I gave myself a budget, bought about 30 trees, and this is year 3 in here. So as you can see, they're just starting to come up, other than this stuff. So some are only 6 to 8 feet, and some get way up to the top of the purlins of the greenhouse. And this should be the peak year 3 that I can actually have enough figs to sell at the market. So yeah, I'm excited because last year I just ate them all myself. I'm so selfish about that.
That's
Because
totally fine.
it's sort of like your studio. Like this is my place, and when people come in, they're sort of intruding, and these are like my babies growing, and every day I'm out there with a magnifying glass looking at them and enjoying the way the leaves grow, the different types of figs, and then actually eating them is just amazing. So it's sort of an art in itself. Farming is an art. So I say to people, like, you have to have a PhD to be a farmer. And these days, you have to be wicked smart and know everything from hydraulics to mechanics to water to, yeah, wind, weather, soil. Yeah.
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 It's amazing in here.
So buy local from farms.
Thank you so much for letting
welcome.
us into your space today. This greenhouse is like amazing. If anybody gets a chance to come here, I highly recommend. I felt inspired for sure. You're super inspirational.
Yeah, thank you.
And much love.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.